All right, well, let's bring him on right now. DK Metcalf, our first training camp guest of the season. DK, thanks for being with us. Good to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
Man, so everything feels, at least from our perspective, very different from last year. You had all these questions, and Russ was gone, and weren't sure who the quarterback was going to be. Now you're in year 2. You know that Geno is your guy. How do you expect that to go in year 2 with him?
I think just building on last year, I think we ended in a good spot, making the playoffs and going on a little, run with the team that we had, in the building. But with the additional pieces that we had added this offseason, signed some guys to, longer-term deals. So just excited just to get back to work and just build on last year.
What do you like? I'm sorry, just quickly. What do you like about what Geno does? What do you like about the way he throws you the ball?
Geno's going to be Geno. He didn't, try to come in and try to, be anybody else but himself. So I think he knows himself, and he knows how to throw the football. He knows how to be accurate and just be himself. And, that's what I think, got him the starting role, at the end of camp. And he just built on it from the time that he was a backup to, earning his starting spot. So I think it was just him just being competitive in practice and not just, letting the outside noise get to him.
You remember this day 5 years ago, your first training camp?
It does not feel like 5 years has gone by, but, just a blessing just to, still be in this position and still being able to play at a high level.
Compare and contrast DK Metcalf, the rookie, versus DK Metcalf, the fifth-year pro.
I think I would compare and contrast it, but I still have the same hunger, the same drive, but my mentality is different in the aspect of how I approach the game. I know I have a bunch of rookies behind me, asking me a lot of questions. So is this kind of transitioning to the all right, I'm not the young guy anymore. I'm answering questions for the young guy. So, just taking what Bobby and Russ and, Locke have taught me, my first few years in the league and just applying it to my life and, giving them the same, bits and pieces of information they gave me.
We heard you talk a little bit about leadership a couple of weeks ago on one of the podcasts and talking about how you learned a little bit about yourself and the style of leadership that works for you. What did you learn?
I'm not the talkative person that's going to get you hyped before a game. I like my actions to speak louder than my words. So, just how I approach practice and how I practice, a lot of people feed off of that. A lot of people are going to watch how I do things and, just to try to put my best foot forward for them to try to mimic me, so they can be the best person that they can be, at practice and then translate it to the game.
Did you need to learn that last year in the absence of Bobby and Russ and the leadership and the captains that walked out that door? Did you kind of, with that void of some of that leadership, need to learn a little bit about who you were and how you went about it?
Yes, sir. I think it's better, in year 4 than, year 5, 6, or 7 that I learned that. So, I know a little bit more about myself and how I need to approach the game more this year than, I've ever learned, in the previous years because, I've always had dogs around me, whether that's going back to high school, college, or when I first got here. So I think learning that in year 4 really just helped me, develop my skills and, my personality and just who I am on and off the field.
All right, I got to apologize in advance because I got like 4 questions in a row here that are all about respect. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be like, the typical media guy trying to elicit a reaction that's going to get you in trouble or anything like that. But I mean, of all of these, you're 101st according to the NFL Network list that just started to come out yesterday. 101st? That doesn't seem like an accurate reflection to me. What was your reaction when you heard that?
It's none of my business, what other people think about me. I think very highly of myself and the type of player that I am. And, the only thing I care about is, how, Geno, my O-line, and other receivers and other peers inside this building think of me. Especially, I wouldn't think Pete Carroll would put me at 101st. So, that's all I care about.
Good. That's a great answer. And we'll make the argument for you so you don't have to. And we'll let you argue in favor of a few of your teammates who I think also got screwed. Quandre, Bobby. Neither of those guys are considered top 10 at their position. Quandre 110th in the league. Why don't they get more respect?
I think people, we're too far away from a lot of the people in the rest of the U.S. for them to really pay attention to us. So, I just liked how they keep doubting us and, keep disrespecting us because they're not going to be, expect us to, be great or do great things, sort of like how we did last year when, they didn't expect us to make the playoffs and we did. So, the noise is going to always be there. We just have to hush it up,
Because you don't care that outside noise, is that why you roll with tuxedo shorts?
All right. Yeah. I just, I can wear what I want to wear and, not care what everybody else thinks.
Where do you buy tuxedo shorts?
Like you got to buy the pants and then they got to cut them for you.
Oh, so you got to go to a tailor?
Well, I was at Mirren's Warehouse. I didn't go to a tailor. So
hold on a minute. Hold on. You're DK Metcalf. You go to Men's Warehouse to what? Rent a tux?
No, I bought the tux.
Okay, so you buy a tux.
Yes, sir.
And you're like, hey, and by the way, if you haven't seen this was at, whose wedding was this?
Tyler.
Lockett's wedding.
Yeah.
You're wearing shorts, a tuxedo short get up. No doubt why Brock, I think, suggested it was to take the onus away from Lockett's hair, but that doesn't seem right. You said it. That's okay. I didn't think that was right. I'm sorry to repeat that.
That's crazy.
So you go to Men's Warehouse, you buy a tux, and you say, hey, would you mind cutting this down to shorts length?
Mm-hmm. And they had no problem doing it. They had the little chalk, lined it up, and tailored it for me. So I told them appreciate it and thank you and gave them their bills and walked out.
Where did you get the idea for that?
I saw LeBron do it a couple years ago at I think it was the Met Gala. So, he was an inspiration for that outfit, I'll say.
I mean, there's a long conversation here, but I do want to get back to football because you got to run to a meeting
Sure?
in a couple minutes.
I think this is more interesting than anything he's going to say about football.
I do. I want to talk about one of those rookies that you mentioned there that are looking up to you. For the Hawks fans that are going to sit on that berm, that weren't out there for OTAs and mini camps, and they don't get all the behind the scenes.
He's
is Jackson?
Be special. He's going to be special. I knew you were going to ask about him. He's going to be special. He's going to make a lot of plays for us this year, and I just can't, wait for everybody to see what he does in training camp and, for him to experience the 12s and 80,000 fans screaming at him every time he scores a touchdown. So he's going to be very special for us in his offense.
Who is his game? We've seen Doug Baldwin. We know Doug Baldwin. You've been around it. You've been around great receivers. You train with great receivers. If you were to kind of compare and contrast his traits and his game, who is it?
Well, I really don't like comparing and contrasting people because I think, Jackson is his own person and he's going to make his own lane, to be his own great receiver. But, I hear a lot of Doug Baldwin comparisons, but I think Doug and Jackson are two completely different receivers. Doug played outside, and he would, go in and block the ends. And I think Jackson is more of a finesse receiver, and, he's going to get his nose dirty a little bit, but he will shake you, and he can definitely finesse you when he's running routes. So, I think Jackson is his own player, his own person.
How does it affect you to have him there? I mean, what will that do to open things up for you in doing your job?
Well, you got to worry about Ken Walker, Zach, and DJ Dallas in the backfield. Then you have to worry about Tyler Lockett on the other side of the field, and then you got to worry about Jackson in the middle. So it's just going to open up everybody else in the offense, and hopefully teams start to really play us man and pick their poison this year.
You got to run to a meeting. You're not going to be late for your first meeting at training camp, but
Right.
I need to know this. I mean, I need clarification. Been a lot said about this on in the noise outside. Your diet. Can you clarify today what your
Yes, sir.
diet really is?
So that was a video from last year when I was really
KG.
Yeah, when I was eating like that. But then after that video, I realized how many kids I was messing up, and how many kids really tried to use that diet, and it wasn't working, to their best benefit. I had a lot of moms and dads in my DMs like, "Why'd you do this to my kids?" So, no, I eat twice a day. I still skip breakfast. I've laid off the candy, a lot, but I still drink my coffee once a day.
Did you go see Taylor Swift?
No, sir. I'm not a Swiftie.
You're not a Swiftie?
Sorry. No, I'm not.
Man, it was loud in there, man. I got to tell you, higher pitch than for a Seahawks
Yeah, he's
game.
got to run.
yes,
He's
sir.
got to go. He's got to go.
All right,
Can't
we
be
got to
late
let
on the first
DK
day.
go.
Thank you, DK.
Thank you, DK. Thank you for the
All right,
shorts
thank y'all.
information. I'm going to
Yes,
try
sir.
that myself. Appreciate it.